And we're live. I'm Sonia Falayan, and this is Thursday Night Live here on Mind and Manna here on YouTube. So if you are watching, thank you for tuning in. Um, on this channel, we discuss issues pertaining to, we center the voices of Black women. And we talk about issues around moving abroad, changes at midlife opportunities. We talk about financial wellness and overall well being. And we use this as an opportunity really to ask questions and to talk about issues that are of important to us, that are of importance to us. I made the decision to move abroad 3 years ago, and we've developed a Facebook group as a result of that. It's called Exodus Sojourners. So if you're part of the Exodus Sojourners group, welcome tonight. If this is your first time listening to my live, and if the topics that I've talked about are of interest to you, please do like, subscribe, comment, and share what's going on this channel. It's been really a fun endeavor growing this channel and growing the viewership. And so I also use your comments to help me grow and to make my content better. Tonight, I'm going to be interviewing a really good friend of mine, business partner, Coach Savvy D. Jones. One of the things that people often ask us about is what is dating like, and what is dating like at this point in time in your life, and how does that work, and how does it work when you're abroad. So I thought it would be really great to have Savvy talk about her recent experience of having a gentleman visitor here in Mexico. And I'm going to have her introduce herself as well. And so I'm going to bring her in. Hello there.
Hola, hola, amiga.
Hola. I'm going to see if I can change the how this screen looks. I like this better. So welcome. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to spend a few minutes with me this evening. Although we've spent most of the day together, I just want to thank you for finding some extra time today. And the topic is when he comes to visit. But before we talk about that, I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about yourself and how we kind of came to know each other. And then I want to ask you some of the real questions.
Okay, sure thing. So I am Savvy D. Jones, the
Ooh,
Hope Coach. And that HOPE acronym stands for Helping Our People
hold up.
Economically Excel.
I have, hold up. I have, oh, oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Let me find it here. Okay. Find us back. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm just going to try to get back in here.
I do hear you.
Okay. So continue
Okay,
with your introduction. I'm going to find my way back. I think
okay,
I've got a little. Okay, it looks like my screen is coming back here. So we'll
okay.
just
I
keep
will
it going.
continue. All right, sure thing. So
Okay.
I live here
Get back
now in Chapala, Jalisco,
in the
Mexico. I'm
studio here.
actually neighbors
Okay.
with Sonia Faloyan. I met Sonia back in
All right.
2021.
So uh, I didn't get a chance to hear what.
Oops. Okay, Sonia has disappeared. I'm going to assume she'll be right back. I tell you, technology. There you are. Sonia, you seem to be frozen.
I can hear every. I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I can.
I was saying that I'm
Do
okay. I will start over. I am
okay.
Savity
Keep going.
Jones.
I'm just going to try to figure it out on this side.
Okay. I am Savity Jones, the Hope Coach. I am living currently here in Chapala, Jalisco, Mexico. Sonia and I actually are neighbors. I met her back in 2021 after completing my certification with the TEFL program at the ITTO University in Guadalajara. And at that time, I was also following a woman by the name of Beverly who has a YouTube channel called Miles and Coffee. And she was talking about that's how I got introduced to the TEFL program. And then from there, the algorithm kicked me into Stephanie Perry's world, where women were talking about leaving the US and living abroad, house sitting, and just doing different things that they genuinely love to do. So in the conference it was the Exodus Summit that year that I attended, I met Sonia in a group that was specifically assigned to encourage women that were considering the Jalisco, Guadalajara area where we currently reside. We actually live in a refurbished boutique hotel. So in that group, that Facebook group, myself, Sonia, and one other individual decided that we would be the accountability group for the Jalisco area. And I remember texting Sonia and telling her, I said, Sonia, if you take the lead, I will be your co pilot to get this group up and active and accountable to getting their plans in place and then instituting those plans at some time in the future. We're all at different areas in our life. That was just perfect timing for me. And I remember buying a one-way ticket um, and sitting in business class. And I said, God, whatever doors you open, I'm going to walk through. And so since that prayer, I have walked through many doors here abroad in Mexico. Sonia and I are co-owners of a bed and breakfast called Sojourners Vista del Lago. We are business partners in some other areas, and it's just been a wonderful thing. I remember as a child wanting to live abroad or wanting to know how that happened, and so now I'm living that dream. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. And one of the things that has been really helpful for me in terms of moving abroad and traveling abroad over the years is adjusting to minor inconveniences and different ways of being. So the technology that we're using, it's really amazing and I love it, but there are glitches sometimes. And so uh, what has been helpful for me is being able to kind of roll and flow with things such as what's happened, with our technology today, that I think has been part of my emotional and technical intelligence. Um, and it's been one of the ways that I know I've been able to grow.
Yes.
What's important for me is to be able to get the word out and to have these conversations. Hopefully, people will listen and learn from them, and um, maybe not take themselves so seriously, but also to understand how important our stories are, and and how it's important to have a platform for us to tell those stories. Um,
Hmm.
so getting a chance to know you, having our paths to be on a similar plane in this lifetime has been a real blessing for me. Um, I've grown a lot. I continue to grow a lot, and I'm just very thankful for this time and for your friendship. So thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome. It is my pleasure.
So now let's get down to it now. Let's just talk about the fact that you had a male friend come and visit you in Mexico. So I want to know all about this, and I have, as usual, some questions.
Girl, you didn't send me questions, so this is definitely going to be off the cuff.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So the first question I want to know is number one, how did you make the decision to start dating at this time?
That is an interesting question. Um, because I don't, I guess I don't consider it dating. I consider it exploring friendships and
Hmm.
seeing where they may go, being open to it not being a romantic thing, but maybe just a friendship thing. Because I know that I'm different, and I think that I probably can take individuals on a whirlwind of an experience, especially living abroad. So the individual who came to visit me, I've known for several years. I had met them through their sister, and they had suffered some medical issues, and so we had not been talking for a period of time. But he had come out of his situation looking for me and wanting to reconnect. And so once that happened, and he found out that I was living here, he wanted to taste and see, and so I was open to that. And no preconceived expectations, because I'm busy here in Mexico with the bed and breakfast, with my coaching business, and then just life in general. But I was willing to allow somebody to come into my world and see if they could fit in this space without disrupting my peace.
I love that. I love that. So has that always been your perspective that someone would come into your space, or was there a time when you saw yourself fitting into someone else's?
Well, looking at the fact that I left the US, there is definitely in the recesses of my mind the opportunity, the idea of stepping into somebody else's space, because I'm in a whole different country. So, and that's the way I would approach it. There's individuals that you see on the street that greet you in a specific way or in a certain way, or in a more than just hola way. So I am open to the idea of stepping into somebody else's world here in Mexico. However, it is not something that I am actively pursuing. Matter of fact, I think many times when the gentlemen say things, it goes over my head because I haven't grasped the language quite yet.
What led up to well, you had mentioned that this gentleman had reached out to you from the past, wanting to reach out to you. What made you decide to give it a go?
That's just my personality. I'm always open to new experiences. This is a handsome gentleman. He's got his act together. Um, the fact that there were certain things that he was saying that were intriguing, and so I said, just let him come and stay. It's not a forever visit. It was for 3 weeks, but those 3 weeks were very interesting.
Don Taylor says she can't wait to hear this conversation. Hey Don, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so all right, so tell me what the experience was like for you.
Okay,
Just tell me,
so
tell me.
in preparing for them to come, I cleaned out a certain space for them to be able to put their personal items in. Um, we stayed in the same room, because we live in this boutique hotel, refurbished boutique hotel. So there's four other women who have suites in this building. So I notified them that a gentleman would be coming into the facility and that they would be staying in my unit just out of respect for the house. So three of us were here. And it's interesting, most individuals will say, well, if you guys are sleeping together, you guys are probably, doing other things together, but it wasn't that kind of a party. We're two mature adults that were able to stay in the same room without the excitement or without the expectation that there was going to be any shenanigans going on. He is 73, I'm 64, and so it was really more like my best friend came to spend some time with me. Or yeah, it was like a best friend came to spend some time with me. It wasn't like my old boyfriend from the past. We were never that type of a relationship. It was just that we liked each other's company, and he was excited to be here to learn what it was that I was doing in Mexico.
And so, what did he discover?
Well, he discovered that his little bougie behind may need to be someplace else. Chapala is not for everyone. I even did a YouTube video about, you might not want to come to Chapala if, and that was his experience. He had all of these expectations of, nightlife and lights and things go. Some of the stuff I don't know what was in his mind, but when he got here, it was a little too slow for him. Now get this: every morning I'm getting up, I'm going walking, and I do my sunrise stretch and stroll. But his behind stayed in bed and slept until I got back. So his activity level wasn't the same as mine. His interests weren't the same as mine. I mean, I love going out to the bed and breakfast and just kind of hanging out there. He wanted to go to dinner late night. Well, out there things shut down a little early.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the food, he doesn't like spicy food. Let's see. One day the restaurant had something that he liked, the next day it didn't. So the inconsistency was chaos for him. I call it charm. It's just characteristics of Mexico.
Right.
He's used to now he has a military background, so he's kind of a perfectionist. And there's nothing perfect about Chapala other than the charm. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you it's it's different. You have to be able to be flexible. And be coming from the military, he wasn't a very flexible individual when it came to certain things.
So, how did that affect you?
I tell you what I didn't do is walk on eggshells. I let the brother know. I said, okay, you don't like this. That's understandable. And we began to make really big jokes about it. He started nicknaming me Cat Williams because I'd give him the look.
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, he became more comfortable in knowing that there's other places that you can go in Mexico to get that more fast-paced life. So, for example, here I enjoy calling a driver to take me wherever I want to go,
Mm-hmm.
or just hopping on the bus and being there in a few minutes. He says, I haven't rode a bus since 19, whatever year it was he graduated from high school. So he was used to getting in his car and going wherever he wanted. Well, I said, that's you can have a car here in Mexico, but
Right.
that's not me. I don't want the hassle of getting a car here. I don't want the bill of putting gas in it. I don't want the maintenance of it. I don't want any of that.
Right.
I like being like Miss Daisy. Just drive me where I want to go. Thank you very
Right.
much. So
Right.
so for him to you have to schedule things in advance. Now that is one thing that irritated me. And I'm going to put that out there. I'm a sporadic individual. I mean, I'll think of something and I'm already there. For
Mm-hmm.
with him, I had to give him 2 or 3 days notice so that he can put in his mind what he was going to wear, what time he needed to start getting ready. My girlfriend can call me and say, look, Savvy, we heading out to such and such a place. I say, give me 15 minutes, run through
Right.
the shower, get myself together, and we gone. But with
Mm-hmm.
this individual, that was not the case. I would have to tell him 2 or 3 days in advance what's coming up. So that part was disturbing for me.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And so much of what our life like in Mexico is spur of the moment. Let's get together with friends. Let's do this. Let's go hear this. Let's go check this out. Yeah, that's Yeah, that would be an impediment, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
And savvy, I like to mingle with
Mm-hmm.
individuals. We went to one event at the Legion, and he didn't want to sit at the table with everybody. He wanted to sit in a corner. I'm like, who does that?
Right, right. And different communities have different personalities, but that's really not the way in this particular village. People embrace one another. So
They
yeah.
really do. They really do. I felt like I needed, those little leashes that people put on their kids when they're going out in public. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I needed to put a harness on him because, there was an event that was going on. I think it was the Lady of the Lake was coming in. So it was a parade.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was downtown, everybody coming in from Guadalajara and the other pueblos. And so it was real crowded. Now, keep in mind, this is an individual who has a military background. So he shared his trauma that was um, that was activated by all these little people surrounding him.
Okay.
And so there was that element of his presence here that me being a nurse, a psychiatric nurse,
Yeah.
I paid attention to. And so when we're out and socializing and trying to get pictures and just enjoying the festivities, I would have to pause and say, "Where is he?" Because he would get lost
Um,
in that situation, and then in his mind, it's like I'm not paying attention to him, or I'm not taking care of him, or making sure that he's okay. So there was that element that I had to deal with.
so I mean, that sounds kind of stressful.
It was. It
Yeah.
was. It was. I mean, there were times when we were laughing and enjoying each other most of the times, but
Mm-hmm.
there was always that underlying level of stress for me.
What about how did it work in terms of your energy level and your activity level?
Oh, I was wore out.
Okay.
You've got the mental activity that's going on, trying to make sure that this individual is okay, and letting them know that I understand that you're here, but I am a businesswoman and I have these other activities that I have to take care of. So and then he finally started going out on his own, which was a really, really good thing. He was
Uh-huh.
able to leave the house and find his way back
Okay.
to the apartment. So once he got to that point, it was great. He was even able to go out and purchase some items because he wanted some zapatos, shoes, and some camisetas, t-shirts. So he was able to go out and do some of those things. But I think that he wanted, and we even traveled. We traveled to Colima. It was interesting when we did that trip, and he contributes financially to do all of those things. But once again, we were going to a pueblo that was less active than Chapala.
Wow. Okay. That's Kalima's a beach town, is it not?
It's right on the Pacific Ocean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So was how about your so it was some so obviously there would be some adjustment time. He's new to the area.
Hmm.
He was here for more than a few days, which was good to give him a chance to adjust to the different time and space. All that's important. He was able to make those adjustments. But what was it like in terms of your energy level? You're up and about going, because you walk sometimes 5-6 miles a day.
Yeah.
So what was it? So was that something that he was able to participate in with you?
No. Oh no. Oh my God. When we when we say that we're getting ready to walk, he always wanted to know where we were going. Well, sometimes me and my friend Ruby, we don't have a destination in mind. We're just walking.
Mm-hmm.
We're exploring. Well, for him, he needed to know where we were going, how far it was, what time we would get there. And I couldn't always answer those questions for him, and so that would frustrate him, which would frustrate me. Just go with the flow, just enjoy the moment. But no, that personality of perfectionism, I need to know when we're going, how long it's going to take to get there, how long we're going to be there when we get there, and what's all going on when we get there.
Oh,
No.
wow. So did he ever go on any walks with you guys?
No, no, only, well, he went on one when we were headed to, so we're in Chapala. The next little area is called Riberas. He made it to Riberas, but then I had to be mindful not to walk him too much, because then his sciatica would act up, or he would just be tired and frustrated, and would want to head back home. So my walks were limited when we went up long distances.
So, okay, so I guess my next question is, so are you open to are you open to spending time with a younger man?
I have never been someone who dated individuals who were younger than I am. I think my age bracket is probably 60 to 70. There's some 70-year-old men that are in really, really good shape. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where they are,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe that they're available. Um, I don't think that I would ever date anyone more than 5 years younger than I am. They would have to be very, very mature individuals, and they would have to be confident in who they are, and allow me to be me. It's not worth my time and effort if I have to compromise who I am to have someone in my life. I'm just past that.
Well, that was going to be my next question, and that would be well, two questions come to mind. One are what are the negotiables at this point in time, and what are the non-negotiables?
Well, negotiables would be age, because maybe somebody would be able to fit that bill. So that is something that's negotiable. What's not negotiable is um, an individual who does not have a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in anybody that's an atheist, or someone who just doesn't have a personal relationship with God. I need somebody that knows how to pray and get people through things, and that's just who I am. It's not something I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a part of my makeup. I like having this discussions in the political arena, in the religious arena, not arguments, but I do enjoy having conversations in that area. One of the conversations that we had in the arena of religion is, this individual does not believe that women should preach.
Oh, wow.
So, and to me, that is synonymous with women shouldn't be in leadership,
Mm-hmm.
certain leadership. And I've always been in a leadership role. So again, that's why I said it needs to be someone who's real confident in who they are, and who would support my dreams and desires. I'm looking for a purpose partner, not just the friend, not just somebody to say I have somebody. If
Mm-hmm.
our destiny, if our purpose and things are not in alignment, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And at this age, I'm not willing to do that.
What is what's different now at this point in time in your life? What's different now about um, partnership, friendship, possible, long-term love partnership? What's different now than, let's say, when you were in your 40s or 50s? What's changed in terms of how you look at it now?
I enjoy having 100% of the vote in my life and what it is that I want
Mhm.
to do. Um, in the 40s, I came up in a very strong Pentecostal background where we were taught that, women were supposed to be quiet. We were supposed to allow the man to lead, you know, and I've seen some people being led down the wrong road. And so back then, there were sacrifices that I was willing to make to be in the alignment with what the structure had been made that I was taught to follow. As I got older, I discovered that I'm a rebel. I'm one of these individuals who believes rules should be challenged, especially when they are detrimental to the welfare of other individuals. So I'm not going to tell somebody that's in a toxic relationship, well, just pray about it, baby. It'll
Hmm.
get better. I'm That's not me. I'm going to look at what's truth, and then help that individual to make a conscious decision. I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I would help them to decide what it is that they needed to do to be first safe and healthy, both spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, all of those things. How can you be whole in a relationship? If you're constantly sacrificing, if you're constantly walking on eggshells, if you're constantly pushing your life on hold, what kind of life is that?
Exactly. What if looking back on the visit that you had, what would you have, hindsight's always perfect. But looking back on that experience that you had, which was, it was an experience. There were some good moments. There were some moments that were stressful. But all of it is a learning experience.
Mhm.
So looking back on it, what, if anything, would you have done differently?
I would have allowed that individual to find a place to stay on their own instead of coming into to my space. My space. It's my space. So, and I would have loved the opportunity, to say, okay, I'll be over at this time of day, or whatever time of day they said was a good time to come over. But in hindsight, I would have helped that individual to find a space of their own because this space is mine.
I thought that was pretty brave of you to do that. I have to tell you.
Woo,
Uh,
girl.
wow,
Mm.
that's I don't know. That was a brave thing that you did there. So what did you learn? What did you learn?
Well, I learned that peace is a very important part that I have to have. And I've lived by this rule for a long time. When individuals come into your life, if your peace is disturbed, you need to serve an eviction notice. And so peace, I have to have a certain level of peace. I don't do well if that is disrupted. I Let's see, what else did I learn? I learned that I'm very happy by myself. I'm my best company.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. I love being able to, when I'm ready to travel, I just go. I mean, I just recently went to San Miguel. I've already booked another trip to go to San Miguel. If there was an individual that was, living here with me, I would have to include them in that process, and that can be stressful. This individual doesn't have any issues with money, but to schedule it, I just want to get up and go. I've always been that way, even in childhood or growing up, even in my young adult. Every spring, I always had an urge to I just want to go, but I
Hmm.
would push the pause button because I was a mom, I was a wife, I was an employee, I was a boss. And so I had to have all of those elements taken care of. And oftentimes I would not go, I would just work. So I have to have the flexibility to be able to go when I want to go. I don't want to have to ask for permission. I'm not going to ask for permission.
Well, you've been in Mexico for some time now, and um, Mexican men do not have a problem in asking us out. So would you consider a Mexican boyfriend, man friend?
As long as he doesn't disrupt my life, absolutely. I mean, we recently were at a birthday party, and I really enjoyed dancing with Mexican men. Um, and in this case, he was even taller. So, so I don't have an issue with dating Mexican men whatsoever. I find them to be kind. Um, I know that this is a masculine country, so I'm learning some of those idiosyncrasies, or those, you know, those little twerks or quirks that we have to understand, those cultural aspects of them. Um, I'm constant, you know, it's a constant thing when I go into a restaurant, and if I sit down, um, them wanting to buy a drink. Well, I'm not a person that drinks a lot of alcohol, and so I have to remember when I'm saying no, that may be perceived as not good. You know what I'm saying? It's culturally maybe frowned upon. So, but just getting through some of those hurdles is going to be a process for me, because, you know, I consider myself, even though I've been here 3 years, I consider myself still new to the culture. Um, Someone recently told me that they wanted me to visit their mom. So I don't know what that means in Mexico. You want me to
Mm-hmm.
visit your mom?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there are all those little, like you said, those little subtleties that still have
Mhm,
to be learned. And we've been here we've been here long enough to kind of get our toe wet, but um, still in the process of integrating and finding out where we fit in the community. We're just now starting to get invited to places where people want us to know their families. It is a process
mhm,
to to join into a community and to become a part of it. Um, so yeah, but I think it's awesome that you're open, um, and that you're appreciating everything along the way. It sounds like you had a very interesting experience and a growth experience
mhm.
in terms of having your guest here. What advice would you give someone who is contemplating moving here and is worried about relationships, the quality of relationships, what they should be thinking about? Are there some things that you would like people to think about?
I think that the number one thing is to know what it is that you want, and where are you in the process of receiving that. I believe that the energy we put out is the energy that we attract,
Oh yeah.
and so just taking your time. I don't think it's something that you should rush into.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should really, you know, take your time, make a list of what it is that you really want. I mean, are you coming here to find a husband? Are you coming here to find a nuevo, a boyfriend? Are you or girlfriend? I mean, what is it that you really want? And then and then once you make that decision, stick with it. I don't think that you should be uncertain as to, you know, what it is that could happen. I mean, anything could happen, but don't be afraid of new experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feed into the rhetoric that we have been shown on television. You have to get boots on the ground to understand what Mexico is about. You can read about the history and the different things like that, but until you get here and see people face to face, that experience has to be lived. You know, oftentimes, as a young person, I was always told, when you go to somebody's house, when you enter into their house, you speak first. I am in the house of the national here in when I'm
Yes.
walking down the street, I speak first. They've been given a whole bunch of rhetoric about who we are and what we're like. So they don't know if we're coming out of a bag or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
they may not speak first because they don't know what to expect from you. So I speak for I'm in their house. I'm coming to their house. I have come to their house. So I speak first. I greet first. I don't care if they're younger than me, the same age as I, or older. I'm in their house. I speak first.
That's a Wonderful practice. And I think what you said about um, the energy that we give out is the energy that comes back to us. That certainly, I think that is certainly true. Um, and we've talked about this before. Anti-blackness is a global sickness.
Hmm.
It is everywhere to some degree. However, I have been very what's the word I want to say? I have been treated very well here, respected. I've not felt um, tolerated. I've really felt appreciated.
Yes.
Men have been very complimentary and very supportive to both of us here. The women too, families too. But the male female dynamic has been it's been affirming. Just person to
Yes.
person, just um, community people, loving and supporting and wishing us well, being
Mhm.
there for us. It's been a wonderful thing.
It has. It has.
So, are there any final thoughts that you want to share about the experience that you had of having a male visitor?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the brother left some clothes, so he's anticipating on coming back. I don't know when, but I'll be ready for the brother. So,
That's awesome. I want to take a few minutes to let me go over here. I want to take a few minutes while I have you here, um, because we are co-owners of our bed and breakfast.
yes, ma'am.
And speaking of male visitors and all that, we've got some really wonderful specials coming up over the next few months. We've got Independence Day coming up. We have Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead celebrations coming up. Valentine's Day. We've got birthday um, specials coming up. Um, if you are interested in staying in uh, the part of the world that we live in, which is Lakeside, Chapala, Mexico, we encourage you to check out our bed and breakfast uh, in San Nicolas de Ibarra. You can go on our website, which is www.sojournersvistadelago.com, uh, and get all the information that you need. And if you book directly with us, you can save about 16% in value added taxes by booking with us directly. We are looking forward to a great fall. Bring your sweetheart, um, bring your companion, bring your adult children, and spend some time with us. We would love to have you and serve you. We have our first community coffee chat coming up this Monday, August 26th at 10 o'clock. And at the B&B, we're inviting the community in for coffee and conversation. We want to get to know our neighbors. We want our neighbors to know us. Um, Please come out if you're in the area. We'll have hot coffee for you and some pasteles for you as well. We've got great, Savvy and I have got some great um, coffee aprons that we're going to be modeling on that day. But this is something that we're doing. We just want to really get to know our neighbors. We have some of our new friends from the country club that are coming to visit with us as
Yes.
well.
Our
Um,
travel agent.
our travel agent is coming, our attorney is coming, and many of our friends are coming out. So if you are in the area, we do welcome you to come to our coffee chat. Is there
Yes.
anything else that you want us to know about Savvy Jones?
Yes, the coffee chaps will be the fourth Monday of every month going forward. In addition to that, we are going to be sending out some information regarding our first R&B, jazz, and game night that we will be hosting once a month at the bed and breakfast. So we're looking forward to that. We do have our annual Jumpstart Your Sojourn, which will be happening in February 2025. Those individuals who are part of our VIP community sojourners, Exodus sojourners, there are special pricings for you to attend that, which is going to be February 7th through the 13th. That's February 7th through the 13th. and we have a lineup for you. So stay tuned, look for those flyers and those postings so that you can get your early registration in. We are really excited about that.
Yes, early bird registration will begin September 1st. So we'll be sending out information probably next week so that you can have that information. We look forward to seeing you. We're going to have it in Chapala this year. Last year we were in the magical town of Ahihik. This year we're going to have it in Chapala, and we're really excited about it. We've done some tweaking. We've listened very carefully to some of the suggestions that our participants made last year. We're putting all those in place, and we are really looking forward to having a good time. Independence Day is coming up in September. There's so much revelry and celebration that will be happening during that time. It's a great time to visit Mexico, and it certainly is a good time to visit us lakeside. Um, Savvy, please tell them about your YouTube channel.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, you can reach me at Savvy Soldier. That's SAVVY SOULJAR. And there I share my life here in Mexico, the importance of establishing some type of a side hustle before you retire so that you can have the financial support that you need when you're living abroad. So join us there. I've got some recent videos up about how to obtain your Mexican discount card for those who are over 60 and the advantages of having one of those. I will continue to upload new videos. I'm almost at 400 subscribers, so it is growing. Thank you for all your support.
And while we're at it, we would like to ask you to first, again, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel, Mind and Manna, where we talk about the issues of, I center the issues of Black women 55 and older. We talk about finances, living abroad, living a life of freedom, rest, travel, and ease. Please do like and subscribe. I'm really intentional about growing my readership this year. But also, we have a YouTube channel for a bed and breakfast, and it's Sojourners Vista del Lago. Now, we were taken off the air for some reason. We think it was an AI situation. So we're having to rebuild that channel again. But we have some video up on our YouTube channel, Sojourners Vista del Lago. Please do like, subscribe, share our channel. We have some wonderful interviews of people who have been our guests, and they've shared their experiences about Mexico and about the B&B. We have a great video up of our open house, and we have other content as well. So we are having to rebuild that channel. So if you had been a subscriber before, please subscribe again. We're just having to start again, and it's okay.
Mhm.
But we do appreciate your support. Subscribing, liking, sharing, that's that means it means a world to us in terms of helping our business to grow and to get the word out there. So we will also be doing some broadcasts and lives from that channel as well. So please stay tuned. So Savvy, I've enjoyed this time that we've had this evening. We have another meeting after this.
Yes, yes.
Got some more exciting things in the works, but we just want to thank you all for tuning in tonight as Savvy has shared her very valuable experiences. I took some notes in terms of what it was like uh, when a male visitor came to grace her abode. So thank you again. Savvy, I'm just going to ask you to hold on for a few moments after we end, just to allow the stream to catch up.
Sure
And then I
thing.
will see you at our 7:30 meeting. Thank
All
you all
right.
tonight for watching, and we'll see you next week.